All right, welcome to Freestyle Fridays. As you know, this is something we try to drop every Friday, as many Fridays in a row as we possibly can. And it's uncut, unscripted, uncensored, just myself and a microphone. Just talking about what's on my mind. Sometimes it's a lesson I've learned. Sometimes it's something I feel I need to teach. But today is about ceilings. And I don't mean the ceiling above your head. I mean the ceilings that people put on you, the limitations that people put on you and tell you what's possible and what's not, or the ones you put on yourself. You know, you're familiar with DIY. Well, this is DITY, not to be confused with Diddy, but to be confused with did it to yourself. So what I want you to do, as long as you're not driving or on a treadmill here, I'd like for you to stand up tall, chin up, head up, push your head straight up through that ceiling that's above you right now. Getting rid of those limited beliefs. If you can't reach that ceiling, extend your hands and see if you can. See, every day when I get out of bed, I put my feet on the floor. The first thing I do is stand up tall as I can and stand proud, right? Stand like no one's going to put a ceiling on me that's going to limit me. And I've stopped letting it limit myself. See, what I find is that when I run into roadblocks in my career and my life, a lot of it has to do with the ceilings that have been put on me and the limited beliefs that have been created by those ceilings. And I just had coffee with a gentleman. We were talking about that. And I talked about the ceilings that were put on me when I was younger, that it was just okay that I made the team, but maybe I wasn't good enough to be an elite athlete. And I don't think that was the case. I think I just had the ceiling on me and made that decision to just fit in, to just be part of it. And my question to you is, how's that going with you right now? What ceilings are on you? What limited beliefs have been put on you today? They're going to keep you from taking that next step. What is it that stopped you from making that call today? What has it stopped you from sending that DM or that text message to try to set up a call, set up a meeting with somebody you want to create a relationship with or do business with? Is it something that's even legitimate or real? So again, stand up tall, put your head up through that ceiling. And you know, I see people all the time walking with their head down, kind of won't make eye contact with you on the sidewalk. You know the guy or the gal, you've seen them. I believe they're doing that because the ceiling is so low that they've set for themselves or someone's put on them that they can't lift their head up. They're afraid to bust through it. And a lot of times I think people are afraid to bust through that ceiling because what will people say? If I want to do something different or be great, what will the people in my life say? And they're so concerned about what everybody's going to say or think or their opinions. They don't think about what it could create for them or their family. And the truth is, most of the people you're worried about what they're going to say, they don't think about you anyways. Okay. So let that part go. But the other part is too, people sometimes hold back from pushing through that ceiling, out of laziness, out of comfort. They're comfortable where they're at and they're okay with not pushing through to do something more and be more. See, I believe you're put here on earth to do great things, but it's up to you to push through those barriers, those roadblocks that come in your way to get through them on the other side of that ceiling and figure out what's in it for the people in your life and you. Now, what I like to do is make those decisions based on one of the things that I talk about quite often is my Christmas tree theory or my Christmas tree rule, which states that when I make decisions in my personal and professional life, what I really need to make sure of is not what other people are going to think, but how's it going to directly affect the people I sit around the Christmas tree on Christmas morning? How's it going to affect the Weltons around the Christmas tree on Christmas morning? That's my number one priority. Not everybody else, not my clients, not my referral partners. How's it going to affect the Weltons? And then we can go from there. See, I think too many people are worried about what everybody else thinks. So they start thinking, well, how's it going to affect this guy? Or how's it going to affect that guy? And they lose sight on the relationship that should be the most important to you, which is the family you sit around with the Christmas tree or the menorah or whatever religion you are. But how important is that to you? And I know if I make those decisions based off the people that are the most important in my life, I can't help but win on a high level. Because I know when I put them first, and it takes practice, trust me, especially when you're younger. You're so worried about what everybody else is thinking. But when you really dial it in, what you're going to accomplish is incredible. The synergy you can build with your family is incredible. Now, I relocated back to Indiana recently, and both of my older daughters are here, and we've been able to spend a lot of time with them. We'd love to see them more, spend more time with them, but they're adults now, so you know how challenging that can be. But I know Christmas Day, we will get to spend some time with them, right? Instead of that phone call for 15 minutes on Christmas. Hey, how's Christmas? Did you get your present? No, we're going to be able to spend some quality time with them on Christmas Day. And again, it gives me clarity about the decisions I'm going to make. And in my career as a performance coach and a keynote speaker, unfortunately, travel is a requirement. And the older my son gets, the harder that's become. And I didn't realize that until yesterday until I had a conversation with my wife, how hard it is for her when I'm gone and traveling. So I'm going to do the best I can to limit my travel, but it isn't a necessary evil to get on stages, to grow your business, to get where you want to go so you can take care of the family that you sit around the tree with. So I can put them first and really make sure I'm effective as a father and a leader in our family. So I challenge you to create this practice in the morning. Put your feet on the floor, stand tall, put your head up, and push through that ceiling of limited beliefs. Push through that ceiling that people have put on you and told you only can do this. That's a crazy idea. You can't do that. Look, I left my job almost 2 years ago and opened up my coaching business full time and became a keynote speaker and an international best-selling author. And I didn't listen to what anybody had to say about it. I heard them. I heard what they had to say, but I didn't listen really. I didn't pay attention to it. All that information was coming in. Hey, Chris, it's great. You're going to take this risk and I hope it works out for you. I got news for you. When I go all in on something, it's going to work out for me. I'm going to figure out a way. I may have to pivot in the middle of it and adjust it to keep heading towards that goal. But I'm not going to let anybody put a ceiling on me. I do enough of that myself. Even before I go on stage, last couple of times to speak, I've had to call my wife and say, hey, I need a little pep talk. Am I good enough to be here? I put a ceiling on myself of limited beliefs. Like, they're not going to listen to what I have to say. They're not going to care what that is. I share that part with you because as a professional speaker, some people may not think that happens, right? But it does. I'm nervous every time I step on stage, mainly excited more than I'm not afraid, but excited. But I do have that self-doubt creep in and that ceiling show up on the top of my head and press down that, hey, dude, you're not good enough. These people aren't going to pay attention. They're going to be on their phones the whole time you're talking, right? So I needed that little support from my wife to help me bust through that ceiling the other day when I was in Orange County giving a talk out there. And so today, look at it. What ceilings are on you? What's holding you back? What's your limited beliefs? Are they yours or somebody else's? And how are we going to get through that? Remember the challenge is to get up tomorrow morning, put your feet on the floor, stand tall, push your head through that ceiling and see what's above it. Because I'm telling you, when you bust through that ceiling, you get eye level and you can see what's on the other side of it, you're going to be amazed on what you're able to accomplish when you get rid of all the limiting beliefs. This is Freestyle Friday. If you liked it, please share it. If you didn't like it, act like you never heard it. Have a great day.